Hey people, Injured here, 3v3 Faction War. This is Graesark Undercity and Tyranids versus Space Marines for the blue Tyranid team. Lomors already building a tunnel with a Ravener Alpha. There he is, great mobility, powerful offense and a bit of support. Begins with a ranged weapon alongside two Hive Tyrants. First up is VR. And we have wenDi. These guys are durable heroes that walk through objects and cannot be suppressed with powerful disruption and support. Fighting in melee combat by default with a basic synapse. I'm going to call you Vicente and Vidal. Red Space Marine team, the Tenso, with a Force Commander of very good offense. Fights in melee combat with strong disruption and support. Alongside Endor with a Techmarine, starts off in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. We've got some Blood Ravens here. And rounding off the teams is XPhial. Believe me, that's what the name says, kind of. With an Apothecary, support hero that fights in melee combat by default. Begins with a heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Looks like we have Ultramarines DLC recolored black. Looking quite fancy. Up against Vidal, the Hive Tyrant in the southwest. Looks like they are doubling the northeast here, the Space Marines. Hormagaunts being shot up. Lomors with just a double Hormagaunts here, unless something was wiped. I don't think they were. VR with double Termagants and wenDi with single Termagants and double Hormagaunts. And tactical Marines all around, of course. No scouts to follow up, it seems. We've got some shotguns here with the Tenso. Lomors already going for a Warrior Brood. We might see it stay in melee for the melee synapse in tier 2. Here comes Vicente to support. Try to just distract these Space Marines from pushing the power. Hormagaunts get stuck in. Might see a battle cry in a second though from the Force Commander here. Oh, good special from Vicente the Hive Tyrant. Hormagaunts back away and now Vicente back to it. There's good play there to hold up the power bash. Looks like they're still going to go for it, but Lomors should be able to help out now. Here comes Lomors stuff. They're doing some bolter bashing though. They might get one gen. No, I don't think so. Termagants coming in. And Warriors can jump on the Force Commander here. Here we go. Warrior Brood do start off as a power melee squad, so they can do some damage to low level heroes. And this guy might go down here. Hormagaunts, one more hit. There we go. I think Vicente maybe got the last hit. And there's that Barb Strangler doing some work. Lomors going for it then. Warrior Brood also for VR and another Barb Strangler on the way, going to help control these Marines and that Force Commander, of course, when he gets back to his feet. Scouts barely getting away there. Meanwhile, towards the south, Hormagaunts decapping XPhial's natural VP. But we got Tactical Marines and Apothecary coming in here. Assault squad up for XPhial. Oh, Devastator's already getting caught by Endor, barely getting away there from the Hormagaunts with adrenal glands. They are so dangerous against low-level Marines in Tier 1. Assault squad here for the Tenso as well. Barb Strangler doing some good work. There's a jump. Isolated some Warriors here. They might need to retreat now. Yeah, Kraken Bolts are going to come in and mess them up from the Tactical Marines. Meanwhile, Lomors is grabbing the VP, but the Space Marines have noded that contested power in the northeast corner. We got another tunnel here because the other one was shot up. The first one was shot. Vidal breaking stuff at the bottom. Hormagaunts and Termagants all capping. Force Commander is going to get a revive from Endor. And it's more Assault Marines from XPhial down there. Double ASM. Oh, there's Rending Talons. You see the aftermath of the Seismic Roar. Didn't seem to hit the Assault Marines very much though. It's a cool ability. Knocked back instantly. And the damage over time cracked on the ground. Especially since Elite Mod made this ability so much better because it's so much more responsive now. If you go back to retail and use this, the Hive Tyrant kind of stands around for a second and a half after he uses the Seismic Roar. It's kind of annoying, but they cleaned it up a lot in Elite Mod. It's really good. And just having a 75 DPS melee weapon is pretty damn good in Tier 1 too. Since the heavy infantry of the Marines don't have any resistance against regular melee. XPhial's Apothecary is quite low. Might be worth the Hive Tyrant's time to go after them. They do have the warp field up. There's a special. Apothecary just healed himself and should be able to run off Vidal here. Off they go. Ravener Brood in retreat. Meanwhile, kicking off again in the northeast. Doubled Hormagaunts with adrenal glands for Lomors. And a Ravener Brood for those guys as well. Grenade. Dodged by the Burrow Strike. Gonna get the Devastators here. There we go. And tie up the other devs. Suppressing this Techmarine so we can't fire that bolter effectively. And here come the Hormagaunts. Shotgun blast maybe. Could get both the Hormagaunts with a shotgun blast. I doesn't need to. They're in amongst the Devastator firing up. That was a better Seismic Roar. Do the Hormagaunts get away? Looks like they do. Might have been saved by the Seismic Roar actually. Assault Squad jumping into the back lines. That was a really good jump. Disrupted double Hormagaunts and double Warrior Brood with Barbed Stranglers. Level 2 Hive Tyrant now is doing well. Oh, Force Commander's in there. Didn't see him because of the indicator was lost, but there he is. After his revive, he's almost level 2. What about Endor's Techmarine? On the way to level 3 actually. Goes tier 2 in good time. Tier 2 also for wenDi, and then XPhial went. The Tenso with a Devastator squad on the way, and a Whirlwind on the way up before 3 of the players have even gone to tier 2 yet. Lomors is not floating yet, so they're going to be the last player to go. Double Kraken Bolts against those warriors is quite nasty, giving 20% more damage to heavy infantry armor, which is what warrior broods have, both melee and ranged. Here come the Hormagaunts. They don't want to mess with those guys. Good disruption there too, but the shotgun blast was quite clutch. Techmarine going to get away here. A good turn on him and maybe finish him off, but the Hormagaunts really got messed up by that shotgun blast. And the Tactical Marine did not drop a model there. These guys are all out of cover. Need to run. Termagants of VR. Vicente, the Hive Tyrant, lost his Termagants there. Looks like the other is going to be okay. Here comes a drop pod with a new Marine squad for Endor, I would think. Yes, so they're probably going to go straight into Stern Guard or something once he gets the resources anyway. Meanwhile, this is XPhial with a double ASM. And wenDi responding as they should with a Tyrant Guard on the way. That'll do really good work against the Assault Marines. Power Bash. Bolter Bashing Tactical Marines here. Are they going to get some help? They're going to get some cover from the Devastators. Scouts doing some decapping. They did not decap the power. There's a tunnel up here too. What are these fellas up to? Oh, I think they just jumped on the tunnel that was here maybe to destroy it. But now they're idle. Devastators take the heavy cover. And these Warrior Brood fellas are strangely split up. Okay, they didn't want to hang around because the Ravener Brood could jump them and then they'd be off the field. So get back to a safer location. Tactical Marines here getting messed up. Oh, they're reinforcing off the drop pod. That might have saved them there. Assault Marines with a counter-initiation jump in amongst the Warrior Brood now. Whirlwind doing its thing from long range. Great for disruption. And we see a Sergeant Roar from Vicente into a special attack, which seems to hit nothing. Not sure why they did the special attack. What were they even targeting there? Leveling up some Marines there, I think. It's a messy fight, but it looks like the Space Marines are going to power through it. Oh, maybe not. This is wenDi's Hormagaunts coming in, but followed by XPhial's Assault Marines. Warrior Brood getting smacked up in the back lines by the Assault Marines here. 416 to 370. Tough fight. But I think the Space Marines came out pretty well. They lost some Tactical Marines, but not a whole lot else. And these Termagants are getting smacked around. Those were VRs, I believe. Were they? Not sure. Yeah. That's VR's colour scheme. Were those new Termagants? Didn't they already lose some? Maybe I'm losing my mind. We got a Gene Stealer Brood though. I know that melee superiority unit can really tear through Assault Marines super effectively. Although most of the strike can do some work for you in that fight, and they're not going to be alone. It's not like it's going to be a 1v1 fight, is it? You guys do have a Sergeant, but no sign of the Stern Guard. Oh, there we go. Stern Guard veterans on the way. Got to call those guys in. And here's the Tyrant Guard for wenDi. 2,500 hit points of super heavy infantry armor. Powerful in melee. But it's got nothing to fight so far down there. Kicking off towards the northeast again. Space Marines have stepped up slightly. Really good grenade on that blob. Double Gene Stealer Broods from VR. VP's evened up at 370. Force Commander's surely going to respond with a Thunderhammer now. And it can be tough to mess up single targets with Tyranids. I mean, you do have, obviously, Lictor Alphas with their flesh hooks and stuff, and you have tier 3 Lictors with their flesh hooks. But they don't have much in the way of, like, single target stuns and stuff. You do have Termagants to cripple things. No sound of the Thunderhammer yet. We do have a Dreadnought on the way for the Tenso. That's going to be fun. Triple Genestealer Brood from VR. Bloody hell. Do they have... They don't even have melee Synapse right now. What about improved Synapse from you? Nope. Here's a Brood Nest going up, but I think that's the wrong side to put it. Should have put it back here. Maybe even behind the shot blocker down here. Scouts run away. And Vicente is going to finish that cap. Meanwhile, young wenDi puts in some good pressure on this VP. Tier 3 now for young wenDi. Here comes a Dreadnought, though, from XPhial. Looks like XPhial dropped their scouts along the way. Any war gear for the Apothecary? He's got the improved medical equipment. So you might see the standard 3v3 build of the armor of the Apothecarian and his ranged weapon. Customized Stormbolter. Nothing for level 4 Techmarine of Endor, and the Force Commander is getting the Thunderhammer here. What about you? You have Acid Splatter, Reinforced Chitin, and Synapse Aura for damage. That's pretty fun. Acid Splatter does power melee in the initial attack, but the splash damage is not power melee, it's piercing. But still pretty good to run in on an assault squad. But here's your Dreadnought. You don't have a great... Oh, they have Venom Brood. But it's going to be really dicey for the... Yeah, Genestealers need to try and avoid that, but they have a Heavy Bolter to deal with. Not sure where this guy's pointing. I guess it's shooting something. Ravener Brood are going to Burrow Strike, get both of those guys knocked over. So much stuff dying in the back there. Here comes a Warrior Brood with Adrenal Glands for Lomors, providing melee Synapse bonuses now for the Hormagaunt Broods. It will also affect these allied Genestealers if they're close enough, which is quite handy. Ravener Brood just wiped out. Those were VRs, I believe. Here comes a Venom Brood out in tier 3 from young wenDi because XPhial has that Dreadnought, of course. Good fight for the Space Marines in the northeast. Yeah, they need tier 3s and they need big old Carnifexes. Neuro Threat would be pretty good up there too. What level are these fellas? Still level 1s. We do have double Melter Bombs though for the Tyrant Guard, which does have some XP, so it's killed something. Uh oh. Scouts running into trouble. Freshly purchased from XPhial to help cap things and repair the Dreadnought and stuff. Here comes a tank for Endor now. It's a pretty good map for tanks. There are some tight areas they need to try and avoid, like here and stuff. Going for the power are these Space Marines again. Venom Brood though getting some good shots in. Looks like they got the node and that was it, I think. Decent grenade. Genestealers getting stuck in. These guys heal on hit passively, and they'll heal for even more on hit if they use their awesome Adrenal Rush ability, which boosts their speed and their damage as well. And they don't need an upgrade for that, they just start with Adrenal Rush to use. I don't think it lasts that long though. Force Commander's going ballistic with the hammer though, and has the Sacred Standard up. They need to try and find a way to deal with that guy, but it's tough. You can't just pile Genestealers on him because it just knocks them all down. Merciless Strike as well. Yeah, Genestealers are getting dealt with quite well so far. If one of them could get a Swarm Lord up to support those guys with speed and Synapse, that'd be a pretty big deal. You need to try and have the make the Force Commander commit himself somewhere first, and then kind of wheel the Genestealers around, maybe get to a different area of the fight. Here's the tank from Endor. Should get rid of the Ravener Alpha there. And getting suppressed as well. Yeah, needs to run away. 288 to 279. Very even on VPs. I feel like the Space Marines have been doing really well up here, but young wenDi's also been doing quite well at the bottom. As soon as I say that though, down goes the Tyrant Guard with a big old smack from the Dreadnought. Is young wenDi going to go back down there? They do have a Venom Brood, but not much else in the way of anti-vehicle. Hive Tyrant can get strong anti-vehicle weapons, the Crushing Claws or the ranged Venom Cannon. This Dreadnought is pushed up really far. They also have a missile launcher ready for Carnifexes, also help to take down the Tyrant Guard, I'm sure. Here's a big old push from the two Hive Tyrants, Vicente and Vidal. There's Angels of Death from XPhial, giving 50% damage reduction and immunity to all forms of knockback. See the Rending Talon's Seismic Roar there didn't knock anything over. Affects all of your infantry, and the Dreadnought I think is going to be okay. They're tripling down here. Going quite hard after the natural VP, I guess. Trying to do some serious damage. A sudden triple can really mess up a player and mash their army down. They're going to get this Dreadnought, I think. Ripper's got some hits in there which slowed it down a little bit. I think they got enough here. Yeah, it's going to go down. Tried their best to get it away. But, I mean, that's always the risk in a 3v3. Pushing a Dreadnought up over the halfway point of the map is always potentially under serious danger. But here comes the Tenso with that Thunderhammer. So they have adjusted and nerfed this Thunderhammer loads of times over the years, even back to retail days. These days it doesn't do a huge amount of damage when it does the big old AoE hits. It's more about the disruption, which is a good change, I think. They are getting a Brood Nest up here again. I think it's a bit too far forward. Don't know why he'd put it right next to the VP like this. It makes it difficult to hold. See those tactical moves with the missile launcher take it down pretty quick. Big fight here. Look at that merciless strike. That was nuts. Really messed up all of those Gene Stealers there. Here's me saying they're about melee superiority and they'll mess up the Assault Marines. The Assault Marines just ganked them. I think that might have been a double merciless from both of them, because that was a huge amount of damage. Carnifexes are on the way, and here comes a Swarm Lord too. 169 to 265. And Tyranids have done well. I think they have done well. Space Marines are looking strong, but they haven't really got into their crazy tier 3 stride yet. I mean, we haven't seen Terminators, we haven't seen the Land Raider Redeemer. And it's always a good sign if you're Tyranids, if you're getting Carnifexes up before Terminators start to hit. And a Swarm Lord on the way there too. That's going to be fun. What's this? It's a tunnel, it's some Rippers, and they're dying to Assault Marines. They get a little bit of XP for that. A little bit. They got their VP back, 167 to 256. They do have the Contested as well. Double Devastators and the Whirlwind Disruption. First Carnifex on the field for VR. Big old alien with vehicle armor. Starts off as a kind of generic close combat monster, but can get specific weapon upgrades and stuff. And here's another one from Lomors. Swarm Lord will be up soon. But it's going to be up for young wenDi, so it's not going to be able to support these Gene Stealers up here very often. Losses on the Warrior Brood. Carnifex is going for the Thornback. 50 power for this. It does give it more hit points. Allows it to spawn Rippers. Does it give it more melee damage as well? I think it does. And it gives it the awesome charge as well. Can get it out of trouble or just get it into trouble in a really powerful way. There's that double merciless again, I think. That's really nasty. What's the Apothecary running these days? Oh, he's gone for the Power Axe. You do see armor of the Apothecary. No, they need to get rid of this guy. Need to try and target that guy because he's doing a lot of work in his fights. Assault Marines are getting kind of low. Tank is getting shots on the Carnifex, but look at this Carnifex with the Venom Cannon. Massive chunks of damage coming off the Predator tank there. Double Melters, which locks you in place, I think. I'm pretty sure they stack. Yeah, you can't move when you get double melted. Don't see it all that often though, because players don't often get double Assault Marines on the field. And here's your Swarm Lord. Close combat monster that provides a speed and reinforcement synapse to surrounding Tyranids. Pretty big deal. Dreadnought here for the Tenso. Should get dealt with, I think. Because even when they have the Venom Cannon, there's still a big old Carnifex. It still hits for big chunks of heavy melee damage in melee. Down goes the Dreadnought. Oh! Orbital, and they ran right into it there. Force Commander doing what he can. Space Marines are holding on. 109 to 237. The tank went down over there. Final formations all over the place. Orbital did force off the Tyranids. 104 to 237. What is this? This is double scouts from XPhial gonna go try and cap some stuff. Another orbital to stop the cap here. I think they need to retreat. They might wipe from that orbital beam. Good sync kill there on the Force Commander from the Carnifex. But now that Sacred Standard is providing even more of a damage bonus when this is down. Did those Venom Brood wipe? Whoa, Yang wenDi's down to 2 units here. Oh, they're right here. They finished the cap. No, they didn't. It's gone back red. We need to decap it, fellas. Double melters on the Swarmlord now. Gonna lock it in place. Might go down to the tank shots. 67 to 237. VPs are low for the Tyranids. They are eventually back onto the VP here. Oh, the Force Commander's back up. I guess the Apothecary going back to his feet. It's a no cap game. Something from XPhial is down on the VP, but they're not capping, I don't think. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, they're not capping right now. Angels of Death used. XPhial having to split their army now. Down go that Venom Brood. G-City just tore through something. Is that Marines over there? So many Tyrant formations. Assault Squad jumping in, but the Hormagaunts are already retreating. There's that advanced healing from the Apothecary. It's a lone Gene Stealer Brood here. Not sure what they're going to be able to do alone against all this stuff. Yeah, they got dealt with pretty easily. This Carnifex is very low. It did charge away, didn't it? It should have kept on running. Kept on charging. I think the Predator's going to finish it off now. There's a Capillary Tower trying to speed it up a bit. But those guys might have a melter. Yeah, melter's going in. It's going to go down. Should have kept it moving. Land Raider Redeemer now on the way for XPhial. What is this though? Lomors and Vidal, the Hive Tyrant, are on the VP. A little bit of a power bash. Merciless Strike. We've seen some really good Merciless Strikes in this game. Always underestimate that ability, I think I do. Merciless Strike is pretty awesome. Got a level 4 Hive Tyrant here. What do you have, anything? You have improved Synapse, Yang wenDi. Another Swarmlord on the way. And Lomors still has 2 of them. Venom Cannon and a Barb Strangler. Space Marine trying to sit on the northeast. The Whirlwind is still around, level 3 now. And does have that Hunter Killer, of course, to shoot at Carnifexes and stuff. Here's a Brood Nest, slightly smarter place for it from Yang wenDi. And look at this, Hive Nodes going up. Don't see these very often, but they can be really annoying to deal with. They emit this cloud, which damages enemy units if they get close, and provides a range damage reduction to nearby units. It doesn't protect other Hive Nodes though, which is what you're seeing there. That's why they're still going down pretty fast. It's a good orbital again. Took out both the Hive Nodes. And almost got the Ravener Alpha. In fact, he might go down still. Here comes the Apothecary. Smack. But down he goes. 48 to 185. Tyranids holding on. But it's going to be tough. Here comes another Carnifex with VR. Yang wenDi's Swarmlord is on the field. Ways away from the action at the moment though. Red team get their VP back with Angels of Death. Well played, XPhial. Where's that? There's the Land Raider. There it is. Gene Stealer's getting stuck in. Now a tank needs to be careful though of the Carnifexes. Might see a big frag assault. Oh, I guess it's not even needed. Oh, there it is. It's still got it. Didn't knock back the Hive Tyrant though. Puts his shield up. It's not going to last super long. Can he get the cap? He gets the cap. Well done, Vidal. There's that Swarmlord, and here's the double Carnifexes. Bioplasma goes in. Rending Talons using a Seismic Roar, and then fleeing is VR. Also got the Psychic Scream up, but not in time to use it right here. It's all about this natural VP right now. Taking a lot of damage, those Carnifexes though. They're close enough to get hit from the multi-melter of the Land Raider there. Oh boy, Scouts be dead. what the Bar of Strangler can do for you. This Carnifex trying to escape. Are you guys getting a missile launcher or something? Nope. Repairs are keeping it around for now. Double melters and a missile launcher. I don't think the Swarm Lord's going to get away without number being dropped in. 32 to 171 spawns some upgraded Termagants and Gunsphere. Not an ability I've ever been particularly impressed with. They got the Land Raider. I think it's a lot more powerful in 1v1s where you can isolate them a little bit more and cap stuff a little bit cleaner. So they got the Land Raider and the Swarm Lord went down as well. There's a Bioplasma against nothing. Brood Nest again, not put in a really good place. They could have put a Brood Nest down here. Would have been a lot safer. GG says Lomors. And the Space Marines had the double all that time. That was a really, really fiercely fought though. A fun faction war. Level 5 Ravenant Alpha. Almost level 5 Hive Tyrant. And a level 2 Hive Tyrant down here. Force Commander got level 8. Seriously did some work with the Thunderhammer. It was fun to see all those Gene Stealers, but they struggled to have a big impact, I think. They had, you know, Devastators and Whirlwinds and Thunderhammers. Techmarine level 8 as well with Plasma Guns, Signum, Refractor Field, and of course Apothecary level 9. Was kicking some ass there with the Anointed Power Axe, Armor of the Apothecary, improved medical equipment. Was fighting a Carnifex at the end, that guy. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and a big thanks to these players for taking part in the faction war, and of course the man with the plan, Impregnable, for organising such events. I'll see you in the next one.